What is going on, everybody?
Hey.
It's Jason and John doing what comes natural, and that is podcasting. John, how are you this fine evening?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain. As I told you off air, I'm leaving tomorrow morning bright and early to go on a little Christmas vacation and go see mom and stepdad, which I was lamenting that I'm like early leaving, like 6 a.m. flight leaving early, and I'm kind of regretting like that decision. But it was the only cheap flight. Like if I had booked any other time, you were adding like $75 to $100 more on the flight, and I'm like, man, I'll suck it up because I mean, I'll be honest, I paid $350 for this flight, which I thought was not a great deal, but not a bad deal, you know. And I was like, I don't want to pay $400 or $500 and go leave at like 9:30 in the morning or something like that. So it is what it is.
Justin and I are going to Florida in a month, and we have not booked our flights yet, even though they went down. They were at like 2 something, but now the last I checked, they were only at 130 for a round trip to Orlando.
Wow.
So, yeah, we need to get that booked soon.
Yeah. As soon as we're done this podcast, you should be booking that.
I gotta wait till Friday at least, because Christmas, man. Single parent Christmas, it's not the single parent part. It's just that, I live alone, so you know how it is, and Justin knows how it is. Bills are all your responsibility, and then on top of it, you've children that you have to buy Christmas presents. Dude, it's been a tight month. I'm not bitching. It is what it is. It's fine, but yeah, that's why I haven't booked my flight yet.
All right.
I did book the hotel.
Well, okay, there you go. All right.
That. We're in a different city. I booked it John Orlando style.
You're in Ybor City, aren't you? Florida.
But it's within like 15-20 minutes. It's not like an hour away like the time you booked us for Monroe. But
well, we already have some people watching. Justin, can we have some of our messages pop up, please, when you get a chance? So, hey, Daniel Snow, good to hear from you, man.
Hey now.
And Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music.
So I went to my mom's house for a birthday dinner yesterday. She made lasagna, very, very good. I'm going to have more of it after this podcast. But my sister's flipping. She's trying to find something I haven't watched to watch with the family. And I kid you not. She's flipping through Hulu's recommendations, and she's going, I'm like, seen it, like about 20 shows in a row until she starts hitting all the doctor shows that are very similar to each other. I'm like, okay, I haven't seen these. I don't want to see these. So we ended up watching Beetlejuice 2 Beetlejuice 2, not my favorite movie of the year. I had fun with it, but I've watched it the most out of anything I've seen this year. I've watched it 3 or 4 times now.
So this is your official entry into what are you watching in that part of the show?
Yeah, dude. So Law and Order hit Hulu, and I am 8 episodes in. Much easier show to follow when you're multitasking.
Well, I have a question. Now that is like the original, because that was with, oh God, who was in that? That was
Chris Noth, Fleck. He's the captain who eventually becomes the captain on SVU, and it's
yes. Florak, Dan Florak.
Yeah.
And there was no Lenny Briscoe yet, because I think he comes in season 2, if I remember correctly. I don't think Jerry Orbach's on the show.
I don't know, man. I've been waiting a long time to watch the original Law and Order, and for some reason SVU is everywhere. I do like SVU a lot, but SVU has always been available to stream. Criminal Intent's always been available to stream. So when they announced Peacock, I'm like, all right, it's NBC. I'm finally going to get to watch the original Law and Order. And they only released the 5 last seasons of the original series. I'm like, come on, NBC. Like, you had one job. Like, give me. And now it's on Hulu, all 20 seasons, up to, I think, the newer seasons. And I am excited to dive in. Because, like I said, I've always been a fan of SVU, but I've seen all of them. So I'm glad. I like Law and Order.
Well, in fact, I can't remember who the prosecutor was, because there was no Sam Waterston either in those first several seasons. I forget who it's a pretty well-known actor, and I can't remember his name.
Can't think of his name either, but he is very, very good. I also am watching the new Dexter reboot, Original Sin, which I didn't think I'd enjoy, but episode 1. Okay, so this show it's completely unnecessary. It doesn't need to exist. A lot of what's happened, the first episode, everything that happens in the first episode, we've seen before in flashbacks on the original Dexter. Like, the entire storyline was shown before, but It is the best unnecessary show I've ever seen. I am enjoying watching it. The acting is fantastic. The writing is really, really good. Everything about the show is really, really good. It's just not necessary because we've seen it before. Because, the original Dexter did flashbacks, and a lot of the stuff we're seeing was in the flashbacks before. But it's filling in some blanks. And Christian Slater is really good as Dexter's dad, and just the whole surrounding cast all looks like their counterparts. Like, they did an amazing job casting that show. So I highly recommend it if you're not the faint of heart. But Daniel Snow has a comment, and it goes with what we were talking about. Dan Orbach comes in season 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't remember when Watterson comes in. I want to say he was season 5 or 6, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see if Daniel can hit me up, drop some knowledge on me on that one. Well, anything else that you've been watching, Jason?
Dude, it's such a loaded question. There's a show called Earth Abides, which apparently was a book originally. It took over From's time slot, so I just kind of started watching that since From ended, and I'm digging it. It's a post-apocalyptic world, but not in the sense that we've seen before. Like, there's no zombies, nothing like that. There was an outbreak of a disease, killed most of the people on the planet, and it's literally just people surviving, and there's things that you wouldn't think about that would happen during the survival that happens, that they have to deal with. But for the most part, it's just a fascinating take, something different in that kind of, because like I said, there's no zombies, there's no threats outside except for like natural threats like animals, rats, all the different kinds of things that you wouldn't think about. And I'm digging it so far. It definitely moves through time way faster than I would like. Like, I wish they'd slow down. We're like on year 7 and we're only 3 episodes in, but it's really, really good. It's different.
Well, I have a couple of things that I've been watching that is not Homicide: Life on the Street. Hey, it's Christmas time, so I'm watching some Christmas shows, and today I took some time out to watch 2 of them. One that's a guilty pleasure. It's the He-Man She-Ra Christmas special. It's something, all right. I will say that. And I thought of you, Jason, because in the plot of this Christmas special, which is kind of hard to explain, it's a muddled mess, but there's some children that from Earth end up in Eternia, and then He-Man has to battle Skeletor and Hordak because they're trying to kidnap the kids. And then Skeletor ends up with the kids, and they show him like sympathy and love, and then he becomes like a good guy. It's a muddled mess, but in it they have these things called the Monstroids. And I thought of you, Jason, because I said to myself, if Transformers in the Transformers universe, if GoBots are like the ripoff of the Transformers, the Monstroids are the ripoff of the GoBots.
Listen, GoBots are a national treasure, one. And secondly, my question to you is, did you see the casting news of Skeletor?
Oh, yeah. Who is it now? I can't remember. I saw it just yesterday.
Everybody go check out 3 Geeks podcast. I'm loving the feedback we're getting. But Justin and I have started posting news reactions and stuff, and it's Jared Leto as Skeletor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, he can't be worse than Frank Langella or whoever his name was that did the one with Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, he can. He could be way worse. Jared Leto, he's an Academy Award-winning actor. I'm not going to take anything away from him, but like his Joker and Morbius just were not good.
Well, my other Christmas special that I watched that I love, and I know hardly anyone's ever seen it or heard of it, but I watched The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. I love it. It's great. It's I think they literally only showed it on CBS like 2 or 3 years in a row. And oh wait, we got a response as to our Law and Order question, and I knew Daniel Snow would know. Season 5, McCoy comes in. Okay, all right, so I wasn't too far off my predictions. But anyways, Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. It's a Rankin Bass production, so it's that stop animation type of feel to it, and basically, Santa Claus is going to die. Like, he's doing his last run around the world on Christmas Eve, and when he returns, he's going to die. And so the immortals of the world come together to decide whether he should get the cloak of immortality or not, i.e. making him immortal. And so, like, the one figurehead god, deity, the great Ack tells the story of Santa Claus. And it's really cool. I've always dug it. I don't know why people don't know more about it. I don't know why it only lasted a couple seasons on CBS. I know people tell me all the time it's weird and it's morbid. You're watching a show where Santa Claus is going to die, but I'm like, it's cool, man. I mean, what other cartoon would have that in there? And it's based on a book, by the way, by L. Frank Baum. So the guy that wrote Wizard of Oz wrote this tale. And so yeah.
Since you brought up Christmas, I watched for the very first time, and it's one of my rare 5 out of 5s. And I watched Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, okay, good. I know you mentioned that last time that we did the show, and you're making it festive tonight.
That's Justin. That is the genius of Justin, my favorite producer, my only producer.
Well, and the last thing that I have to share what I'm watching is there was a movie that came out with Ralph Fiennes and John Lithgow, who I'm a big fan of, called Conclave. It was basically about a fictional pope that dies, and the conclave has to pick a new pope. It's predictable. I knew halfway through the movie who was going to win and who was going to be the next pope. And then the ending is really bizarre and somewhat laughable. Like, it's, I don't know. They try to cram a social message in there. And yeah.
Hot take Orlando, because that's on a lot of people's number ones for the year.
And Justin says, I imagine that it would be a priest. Anyway, so there you go. That's what I've been watching. Yeah, I mean, look, Conclave is fine. It's just my biggest problem was it was predictable, and the ending is very, very weird. Like, I just didn't expect it. So,
I watched based on your recommendation. I completely forgot. I watched it today. I knew nothing about it except for the little bit that you told me. I watched The Fall Guy with. Oh my God!
It was fun, wasn't it,
dude? I'm trying to get everything that I missed in 2024 done, like in the next week and a half. And wow, I'm glad I went into it mostly blind, because that was a fun ride, and I am in love with Emily
Blunt.
Emily Blunt, thank you. Oh my God, I'm in love. Sorry, Krasinski.
All right, I think we have a comment from Liz coming up here.
Original. Remake. I am going to watch the remake as well, but I watched the original.
Okay. Well, since we got that out of the way, shall we go ahead and start this episode and get into this very interesting tale that we have to tell tonight with Matlock? What do you say?
I mean, just doing what comes natural, John.
All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into our opening statements. The name of the episode is The Marriage Counselor. The original air date is November 8th, 1991. And Jason, I think you were a little bit confused last time that we did the show, because you said you were thinking it's a Christmas special coming up.
It's because the music that they chose for this episode was the beginning music. It reminded me a little bit of like a Christmassy theme. It's not.
Well, I thought you were confused because our very first guest star is the returning Bryan Cranston. And Bryan Cranston was in, I think it was episode 11, season 2, The Gift. And that was a holiday one where they had the episode where everybody was dressed as Santa Claus, and then the wife ends up dead, and et cetera, et cetera. And with him returning, I thought maybe you got them confused. But Bryan Cranston does return as Dr. Harding Fletcher. Folks, don't have to read his IMDb. I mean,
no, but I will say that Bryan Cranston is returning to Malcolm in the Middle as the dad for a 4-episode revival, everybody.
Ooh, what streamer is that on?
Disney Plus.
Okay. All right.
I love Bryan Cranston. Oh my God, he's such a good actor.
He is very good. And yeah, we're gonna skip it. You know what he's done: Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, blah 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 blah.
Watch Your Honor if you haven't yet, folks. Your Honor is a Showtime show. Very good. It's on Netflix now too, I think.
That was on the list. All right, well, let's move on to Kim Johnston Ulrich. She will be playing the role of Laura Corning. Now, she is best known for playing Ivy Winthrop in the soap opera called Passions, which was on NBC. And if I remember correctly, I think Passions was the one that had the supernatural twist to it, where there were witches and a talking puppet and all kinds of weird stuff that made it a very unusual show.
The only thing I know about Passions is my mom and sister watched it, and Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer was obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they had him tied up in the bathroom, and he was complaining to Giles that he was missing Passions.
Well, she was also played the role of Dr. Eleanor Vizyak on Supernatural. Shelley Stewart in a movie called Rumpelstiltskin, which looked like a horror flick. So are you familiar with this? You're the horror expert here.
I am not familiar with this at all.
Okay. She was also played the role of Connie on Law and Order True Crime. How about that one? Have you watched all those episodes?
I have. There was only one season. It was about the Menendez brothers. That's why I haven't watched the new Menendez brothers show, because I've already seen a Menendez brothers show.
And the last couple of notes on Miss Ulrich. She also played Dorothy Strudrick on Third Rock from the Sun. Maybe, just maybe, Daniel can help us out with this one. Bootsy Ewing on Dallas. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a hat trick. Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, bonus credit because she was in 2 Perry Mason mystery movies.
And Murder, She Wrote. And to put the icing on the cake, she also played the role of Sandy Farrell on season 2, episode 21, called The Magician. And I think we all remember that one. She was like the assistant to the one magician. So we have ourselves a comment again from Daniel. Whatever happened to that Cranston guy?
Last I heard, he was selling meth. Daniel Snow.
Yeah. All right, our last guest star. There's a gentleman by the name of Ron Fassler. He will be playing the role of Alan Corning. You may know him as Mario in Charlie Wilson's War. Petzoid in Child's Play 3. Ted Koppel in Watchmen. Senator Robson in Flags of Our Fathers. A journalist in Trumbo. And then he is in a ton of Alienation stuff, because I didn't realize there were so many TV movies, and then there was the series. He played Captain Byron Grazer in a lot of those projects. So
it's funny, he was in Trumbo with Bryan Cranston.
I was going to say that. Yes, it's funny that those two were in the same film. But let's talk about Ron in Child's Play 3, since, again, you are the expert in that genre. Do you remember that character or no?
No, I have no idea. I just watched Child's Play 3 not too long ago, but dude, he was in the most underrated 90s sitcom of all time, starring a Mr. Ryan Reynolds, whom I was a fan of before he ever made it big. 2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place, with also Nathan Fillion. He's going to be Green Lantern in the upcoming Superman movie.
Yeah, the Guy Gardner version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty good. I'll tell you, look, we don't want to get off topic, but that Superman trailer was hot fire.
Dude, amazing.
And it was amazing. So, all right, let's get to the plot of this episode.
Hold on. We got one more. He was in Camp Nowhere. Such a good 90s movie.
Camp Nowhere? I'm unfamiliar with.
The stars Christopher Lloyd. A bunch of kids hire Christopher Lloyd to pretend to be a camp counselor.
Yes. Okay, I do remember that one. Okay.
They go to a fake camp. And that was a classic. I remember getting that from BMG for their 6 VHS tapes for like $1. Loved it.
Okay, no, I do remember that one. So clearly, Ron Fassler certainly has fond memories in the mind of my co-host, Jason.
I mean, we could spend an hour talking about this guy's filmography. I need to reach out to him.
All right, well, let's get into the plot of this episode. Ben's insurance agent is accused of murdering a marriage counselor whom is having an affair with his wife. Why are we in like a rut where it's Ben and his like insurance agent, tax preparer, like I want one for his. I mean, we've had it before. He's had his tailor on. What has it? I want the guy that mows his yard.
I want to know where Michelle is. 1 episode this season. 1.
Boy, what an episode it was. Anyways.
Weird.
Huh?
It's a weird episode.
It is. All right, let's get to the opening scene where we see an old church and couples getting hitched. Now, There are clips of Grace Kelly and Lucille Ball in this montage. Why? I don't get it. I know that Grace Kelly, married a royal. I get that. If I'm not mistaken, the Prince of Monaco. But I didn't understand it. I was completely baffled by it. I didn't understand. I didn't make that connection, whatever. Well, we see an exterior shot of the Fletcher Clinic. And we go inside to find Dr. Fletcher counseling a couple. And basically, he came up with a theory that maybe there's some boredom in the bedroom, shall we say. And boy, does Dr. Fletcher pour it on thick. I mean, just his, there's a lot of love in this room. We see that already. Dr. Fletcher, with only like 2 or 3 minutes into the show, is one slime bag. All right, here we go. We got another comment from Liz. Liz says they're all famous couples. Liz Taylor and Queen Elizabeth are in there too. Oh, okay. Then that makes sense, Liz. I overlooked that.
And you notice that Liz only named people named Liz in her message back.
This was all an elaborate ruse. That's what it was. I really knew that. I was just coaxing you into this.
Yeah, you just wanted to get her to say her name twice over.
Well, 3 times, and it's like Bloody Mary, isn't it? I mean, anyways.
Go check out Dark Sea Yarn, everybody.
So Laura shows up, and I put down, she enters from another door, because like that couple, which we later find out is Jenny and Joe, they leave one door, and in comes Laura from the other side, which I thought was weird. I didn't know that therapists' offices had 2 doors, 2 exits.
Was it a different door? Are you sure it was a different door? I thought it was just a different camera angle.
Dude, if they change that up, okay, it might be a different camera angle, but I'm pretty sure that they did a quick pan and she came from another room, another office. But then he did have an office later, now that I think about it, because there's several scenes towards the end that take place in his office. So maybe that other door was his office.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She was waiting on him or something. But anyways, she's having a crisis, and that crisis can only be cured by making out with Dr. Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand we have another comment from Liz.
Marilyn Monroe and Arthur Miller.
Oh, geez.
Nice. Way to correct yourself, Liz.
Yeah,
He's like, see, it's not just about my name, but it's okay. I know all of the Jasons. You can know all the Liz's.
Well, again, I apologize for that oversight. I just must not have recognized some of those folks. And I know them. I know them quite well. Just didn't recognize them. I don't know. So we cut to Ben's place, and he's having a meeting. You should feel worse, John. I thank you, Justin. Thank you. So we cut to Ben's place. He's having a meeting with his insurance agent, who is Alan Corning. Alan suggests that maybe he gets more coverage because he's made more money. And you kind of get the feeling that Ben's annoyed with Alan because Alan is a blabbermouth. He just won't shut up. He blah, 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 blah.
Well, Ben is annoyed with anybody who wants money from him.
Yeah, Ben, that's true. Very true. Well, Ben decides to try to escape by saying, I have some paperwork that you want to see. The original contract. Hold on, I'll go get it. And he goes upstairs and he says a quick prayer. And unfortunately, Alan follows him up there. And I did notice one thing, and I did at the time thought it was something important, but apparently it's just a throwaway incident. But on Ben's right hand, on Andy's right hand, because this is, I think, more a real thing than in the script, he had a bandage on the back of his hand, which I noticed. And I was like, I wonder if that's going to play in. And apparently it didn't. So it must have just been some regular, real life injury of some sort, I guess. Did you catch that or no?
I didn't catch it, no.
Well, Alan continues to talk to Ben in his bedroom about, marriage counseling and, how he and Laura are going to Dr. Fletcher and things are getting better. I have to throw it out there. And I know this might ruffle some feathers, but how could Alan get a girl like Laura? Let's just be honest here. Come on.
He made good money.
It's got to be it. It's got to be it. It's got to be he's making mad money because
John, that's offensive. I watched the movie Hitch. Any guy can get any girl as long as he's got the right scenario.
You invoked the name of Hitch.
I mean, that was the lesson of that movie, right?
I guess. I can't.
Opportunity, mild stalking.
Anyways, I'm also laughing at producer Justin saying, "Is that all you took away from that movie?" Well, anyways, I'm just saying, I was stunned by that. But so then we cut to another scene where Dr. Fletcher and Laura are in bed post coitus, and all of a sudden, Alan comes home.
What comes natural?
It comes. That line was just ridiculous.
We're not there yet.
I know, but anyways, Alan's home. And so Dr. Fletcher has to scamper and go out the back door. Laura throws on a towel like she was going to take a shower. There's a very awkward exchange between the Cornings. But Alan enters the bedroom, and the bed is in shambles. And he finds Dr. Fletcher's, I don't know what it was. Was it like a pipe wallet or something? Like, I thought it was a wallet. I wrote it down as a wallet. But supposedly
had something to do with smoking, I think.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's got to be some type of carrying case for like a pipe,
Maybe.
Not a crack pipe.
Maybe it says medical
marijuana pipe.
Just kidding.
Anyways, well, Alan finds it. Well, maybe a crack pipe. Thank you, Justin. Anyways, so he confronts Laura. All right. And so all of a sudden, Alan storms off and he shows up in Dr. Fletcher's office. And I like how Dr. Fletcher tried to diffuse things by framing his anger as a great step in his therapy. Like, again, man, oh man, Bryan Cranston is putting on an acting seminar as to how to be a scumbag in this episode, at least in my humble opinion.
Okay, this next part annoys me. Okay, so Cranston's character tells him to come back tomorrow at a set time for an appointment, and he shows up to the appointment. I'm sorry, if my wife is sleeping with this therapist, I'm not going to an appointment. You're not going to tell me when I'm going to confront you. Like, I'm going to confront you now, and then I'm going to go home, and I'm never going to speak to you again. Why does he go to the appointment?
Yeah, because this telegraphs that something bad's going to happen. Like, because, look, I'd be the same way. If somebody's messing with my wife, I'm going to show up to an appointment, but I'm showing up with a baseball bat. And bad things are going to happen. I'm not going to
the appointment because everybody knows I'm going to the appointment. No, you just take care of it while you're there. You know what I mean? You're going to go for the one time, and then you're going to leave if you even do that. I probably wouldn't even confront the guy. I'd probably call him or write him a stern letter through text.
Are you going to send it via carrier pigeon? Your letter?
Yeah. I'm going to have to speak to the manager of the firm.
Well, I did not know who this woman was, but there's a woman that he overhears the ruckus. And she opens the door, and we later find out that is Mrs. Hertz, and more on her in a little bit. Well, Dr. Fletcher, the following night, is working late, waiting on, of course, Alan to show up for a 6:30 appointment. When Alan shows up, he finds the body of Dr. Fletcher because just prior to Alan showing up, there was gunshots, and that was the end of Dr. Fletcher. And so as Alan freaks out, he runs down the hall, he bumps into the security guard, he runs over, he gets in the elevator, and he gets away, or at least you think he gets away, because our next scene takes place at police headquarters.
Why do you go, Alan? Why do you go to an appointment? Oh my God. Like, was he going to go and sit on the couch while the doctor therapized him? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, because the doctor won't have to take notes in the notepad because he knows what's going on. I am sleeping with your wife. I mean, come on.
This guy's not that bright. Like, how did he solve that she was cheating on him by walking in the bedroom? But he goes
All right, so Ben and Alan are chatting about the situation, and the previous client, that was Dr. Fletcher's. They have an alibi, a lock solid alibi. Alan had kind of spoke out of turn and explained everything to the cops when they stopped him, because he didn't know any better. Which I'm like, how do you not know that you should shut up and not say anything and get an attorney? But nonetheless, he essentially confessed to everything. And Ben wants to know, well, why would you run? Just why would you run away? And he was like, I don't know. I just got scared. And Alan babbles some more, which that could be the subtitle to this episode. The marriage counselor, Alan babbles some more. Ben reluctantly agrees to take the case, But he tells Alan that he better keep selling insurance because he's going to need to get a car full of insurance clients. We then cut to the Corning's home. Laura is there, along with Ben and Alan. Now, the Cornings argued. Ben breaks it up. We get a small dose of angry Ben. And then Ben interviews Laura. She denies the affair. I'm not having an affair. All right. She really is like, I want to help Alan. I want to support him. I promise I will support him, blah, blah, blah. You talk about somebody else laying it on thick. Laura certainly is doing that. Then we cut to another scene back at the clinic where we find out from Bob Brooks that the whole office building is soundproof, so no one heard the shots. Bob Brooks says that there are no records for any of the patients either, that there doesn't seem to be any notes, nothing whatsoever. So Ben goes over to another office in which he walks in on some therapy.
Weird therapy place. I mean,
Okay.
I've never been to therapy personally, but I don't think that there's hitting with like bats and like everybody's hugging each other. But maybe, I mean, that sounds like cult stuff, but maybe I just don't know.
Well, I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to spoil a little bit of my rating at the end. We've had instances in Matlock where there were sensitive subjects. Like I could think about, remember way back season 2 or 3 when they had the Vietnamese guy and he was the fisherman and he was framed and they handled that like classy. They the whole, we don't want the Vietnam people over here, yada, yada, yada. Like they handled that really well. And they've handled other delicate topics very, very well. I felt like this episode, they were like, ha, 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 look how weird we can make therapy. And I just felt like that was very disrespectful. I was disappointed, to be bluntly honest. And that's not a shtick. That's not a comedic line for me to say. But I really was like, you're kind of making fun of some serious stuff that probably shouldn't be made fun of. So
I didn't even notice it.
I mean, hugging everybody, including Ben, who doesn't want any. No, thank you. But that therapy is run by Dr. I believe it's Rilkin, and she chats with Ben about the case, and she produces a ledger with appointment information on, because Ben was like, who had been here in the previous day, the day of the murder. My question is, isn't that a violation of confidentiality? You gave a list of patients to Ben Matlock without a warrant. I believe that is illegal.
We have a lot of stuff that happens in this show that's not necessarily, that's on the gray area of things, and she's not the doctor, but I don't think she would be allowed to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's a violation of some rules somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you mentioned it. Ben decides I'm going to visit another one of these offices here in this building. And this time, he walks into another office where people are hitting things with Nerf bats. Giant, like, punching bags, the old school ones that would sit down on the ground that maybe had Superman on it when you were a kid, or Batman, and you would blow it up and then punch it.
Honestly, John, we don't know what therapy was like in the 90s. This might very well be that, because mental illness wasn't something that was taken super seriously until recently.
All right, I don't know.
It's possible. I'm just saying it's very possible. Like, these things make some like weird sense to me. Like they could be a part of a therapy thing, hugging it out and just beating the crap out of this dummy instead of a real person. I mean,
okay. Well,
2004 eyes, 24 eyes. It's like, it's
2004 eyes. Shaving a couple of 20 years, man.
That's fine. That's when I was born. It's 2004.
Get out of town. You were not born in 2004.
21, guys. I don't look like the specimen of youth, John.
Justin wants to say something. He's just saying my name.
I did turn 29 for the 14th time 2 days ago.
You're killing me. I'm killing Justin. I don't want to kill Justin because then we wouldn't have a great producer. Anyways, wait, there's one more thing that we have to talk about here before we're done with therapy. Ben interviews Jenny while she's hitting things with the Nerf bat. And then Ben, in the hallway, hears screaming. And so he runs like any good hero would do, runs towards the screaming. He opens the door to another office, and there's a woman that we find out later it's Mrs. Hertz. She's screaming. And Ben like, what's wrong? and she's screaming, "What's wrong?" She's screaming, and she explains this is her therapy, scream therapy, that her and her husband are getting a divorce, and this is making her feel better.
Scream therapy is real. That is real. I know that that's real.
How do you know that that's real?
Because it is.
You said you've never been to therapy.
No, but I know that one is real. That's the one therapy I know is real. They do that.
Hey, by the way, just I'm going to throw this out here. Why is none of these doors locked to these offices that Ben just barges in? I mean, there's no secretary going, "Sir, you can't go in there," except for one instance. And that was when Alan ran in on Dr. Fletcher. But anyways, all right. So we cut to a scene.
It's trauma-based therapy. It's called primal therapy, the screaming. I fact-checked it. It's real. It's real, folks. See, now you're making light of therapy, John.
No, I am not. I'm just laughing at how off the rails this episode's gotten already. I don't mean the Matlock. I mean our show.
I knew. After watching this episode twice, this is going to be fun.
So we go to Dr. Fletcher's house, and Conrad is there. He pulled up his Mustang. He's on the phone, which means that's $8.75 a minute on the car phone, most definitely. And he goes to the front door, and the front door is open a little bit. And so Conrad walks in and then quickly runs out and hides behind the shrubs because Laura's there. And Laura is got a couple of things in her hands, including a jacket, which is going to be a key point of evidence. And so then Laura goes to an apartment where Mrs. Hertz lives. I can't remember what her name was. Hertz is her last name. Cassandra, maybe? I don't remember. I'll just call her Hertz. Laura goes to Hertz's apartment, and Laura gives jewelry to her. And so then Ben will later on confront Laura and asked about why did you remove evidence from Dr. Fletcher's house? Like, that's a crime scene. I loved that finally Laura admits that they were having an affair. And this quote from Ben is the best quote of the episode, I think. She says something about, "Oh, we were just professional, blah, 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 blah. I don't know why we found each other," or something like that. And Ben goes, "Oh, yeah, you were hot for each other." I thought that was very, very classy, Ben. Good way to just live rounds, I guess you could say. Alan doesn't know Hertz. That's an important part of the show. Laura begs Ben not to tell Alan about the affair. And Ben, is like, "I'll do the best that I can." And I don't understand, like, at this point, I guess this is not unnatural. This happens all the time in divorces, but why not just admit you were having the affair? Like, why did you wait all this time and admit it to Ben and then doesn't want Alan to know? Like, shouldn't Alan know, I guess? Mm-hmm. You're shaking your head, yes.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
I was narrating for when this is the audio version. Anyways, Ben interviews Hertz about her semi-empty apartment. Like, at this scene, I'm like, why is there hardly any furniture? I thought it was like some type of like, I really did. Like, it was some type of like, like villains hangout. You know what I mean?
She's a
like,
minimalist.
Minimalist, I guess. A minimalist that likes a lot of money because she's wearing a $10,000 bracelet. And Ben proposes that Hertz left the bracelet, at Dr. Fletcher's. And I wrote down she's schnooking him too, I guess. And there's also a carpet stain on the brand new carpet right by the front door. And Ben mentions it. He's like, "Hey, I can have somebody clean that up for you."
I do want us to say that from quick Google searches, all of those therapies seem to be legit. And there's also, you can hire professional cuddlers to come over and do cuddle therapy with you too, $80 an hour.
Ben and Conrad, they're going over notes. And I did like that. And I think this is where that line comes in, isn't it?
Yeah, just doing what comes natural. Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Like, there's other ways to convey that. Like, just referring to sex as what comes natural. Like, he did what comes natural a lot.
Oh my God. Yeah. But I wrote down, Conrad's kind of impressed. Like, he's juggling two women. And soon we'll find out.
What comes natural, John.
Nah, no, doing what comes natural. That's right. Conrad McMaster. Don't hate the player, hate the game. We cut to the clinic again, where Conrad is all down for hugs as Ben meets up with Dr. Rilkin. Ben checks the alibis for Hertz and Laura, and they were both in the women's session of their group therapy. But then Conrad notices someone else wearing Laura's jacket, and it's Jenny. And so Jenny goes into an office. Ben follows her. Jenny yells at Ben and then storms off. And then I wrote down, my God, is there any rest for Dr. Fletcher? Because it's clear he's got a third woman.
He's probably hooking up with all of the women.
Probably.
Like, for real. Is this the one where Ben says, I like to talk to blondes? Is this the scene?
No, that scene I think is coming up, though, I think. But basically, Ben starts to think that one of the lovers obviously killed Dr. Fletcher. And so Ben and Conrad are in Dr. Fletcher's office looking for patient records. But there's none there. There's like zero to be found. And then Ben looks at the picture on the wall and he finds a clue. So we go to the courtroom. Jenny is on the stand. Ben asks about ever being at Dr. Fletcher's home, and she denies it. She's like, I've never been there. And so then they talk about the jacket. Well, how come your jacket ended up over there and it was seen being removed from the home? She said she loaned the jacket to Laura, right? But as Ben pointed out, Jenny is a petite woman, all right? Laura, not petite, but taller than Jenny. That obviously a jacket of Jenny's size is not going to fit her. And so that ends that line of questioning, and we get Laura on the stand. Laura doesn't know about the other two. And then, again, the question comes up, why remove evidence from Dr. Fletcher's home? And Laura stumbles through this explanation that doesn't make sense. And the actress, Miss Ulrich, who played this part, did a great job of like stumbling and fumbling through that explanation that really didn't make much sense. Then we get Mrs. Hertz on the stand. Hertz denies her affair, but she basically found out about the affairs after Alan's arrival at the clinic. Like she was the woman that was standing at the doorway that we said earlier on. We didn't know who that was. Well, it was her. It was Hertz. And so Ben asks Hertz about patient records. She says, I don't know anything about it. And then we start going down this path, this theory from Ben, that there was a safe. And there was a safe in Dr. Fletcher's office. And then somehow that particular safe ended up in your apartment. And how do we know that? Because of the rust markings on the carpet, both in Hertz's apartment and Fletcher's office as well. Hertz, again, denies knowing anything about any safe. Yeah, I don't know. And basically, Ben knows that the safe was there because it's in that picture that he was like looking at. And he's like, aha, it's not there. There's the rust markings. Put two and two together. It's also brought up that Hertz bribed her superintendent to remove the safe and got rid of it right before Ben showed up. So that's why she had those rust marks there, because it was sitting there. The super took it out, and there you go. So Ben's theory, again, that the three lovers conspired, all right, because Hertz is in the midst of a divorce and could lose lots of money. So the three of them conspired to kill him. Hertz didn't do the questionnaire in the women's group for that night because apparently they had a long session and they had a break in the middle where people, went to the bathroom, got a cup of coffee. It's theorized that's when Hertz, that's when Laura, and that's when Jenny all cut out because they did not do the questionnaire in women's group. Now, for maybe the most controversial part of this episode. No, I can't believe that they did this. Ben asks one of the women, I don't know where she came from. I don't know, was she the stenographer? I don't know who she was, but there just happens to be a random woman in the courtroom that Ben asks to pick up the safe.
Yeah, no, they all work for the court, all three of them.
Yeah, of which she can't. So then they have to get a second woman, and still these two can't lift the safe. And then we get a third woman, and finally, the women can pick up the safe and set it. I forget where they set it, on a table or on a stand or something. I was like, look, this is a little misogynistic. All right. This is sexist.
Because Conrad just carries it in like he's a boss.
Yes. Because one guy who isn't, like, I could see if he was Hulk Hogan, right? One guy could carry that safe in. But Conrad McMasters is an average-sized man. There is no way that, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is so sexist on like two different levels.
Yeah, I didn't get that deep with it when I watched it, but I'm like wouldn't body size and type like play into this? Just pretty random women.
Anyway, so there's no way that Hertz could have moved the safe. And so Jenny and Laura, as I mentioned too, they're wrapped up in this because their questionnaires are missing too. And then we really went to an abrupt, and I guess I like it because we've had the same like, and the jury, what do you find? So we don't have that. We cut right to the leaving of the courtroom. And we can just assume that Alan is cleared of all charges. And again, Ben says, you got to sell lots of insurance. And Alan says, well, I'm going to go away for a while. I found a new therapist, and he thinks I should go out in the woods and be one with nature. And which if you've ever seen Grizzly Man, you know how that could end up. Yeah. Anyways, and Alan says that he might have to take the rest of his life to pay off Ben's $100,000 fee. And Ben just walks away, leaving Alan babbling like an idiot. And that is the end of The Marriage Counselor. All right, Jason, you got comments. Go ahead.
Oh, I can't wait. I want to get right into the...
Oh, you want to go right into... Okay, then let's get right on into our closing statements.
This is the part of the podcast that comes natural. John and I will rate this show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means we did not like it. 5 gavels means we absolutely loved it. Negative 37 gavels means, again, we're going to do what comes natural, go live on a farm and just gavel the hell out of our wall. I am going to go first because I loved this episode. This episode was amazing. I had such a fun time watching it. I loved both times I watched it. I even pulled the DVD out for the second viewing in case there was more scenes in it that I missed. Yes, the safe scene at the end was my can't stop gaveling my wall. That's right, Justin. But I'm not giving it negative 30. I'm giving it 4.5 gavels. Way better than last week's episode. And the only reason I'm dropping the gavels is because of the safe sequence. I loved this episode. It's only what comes natural, and that's why I watch Matlock. I love the cheesy episodes every once in a while, and this just warmed my heart.
Last week was
awful. Last week was awful.
It was the cheesiest episode ever.
It wasn't cheesy at all. It was just boring.
All right, I gave it 3 gavels. I didn't like that. At least there was a different plot, with.
I thought you were going lower, to be honest.
No. I mean, Bryan Cranston did a great job for the 10 minutes he was in the episode. I just put down Alan was annoying and an idiot. I didn't like that character. I didn't like that they poked fun at therapy. And I didn't really think that the sexist moving the safe scene was really very necessary. Yeah, so I gave it 3 gavels. I think it was right in the middle. Right down the middle. But
no, I thought you were going lower. I thought it was 2 or 1.
No.
Just judging from your whole demeanor. But obviously nobody had as much fun as I had. Everybody in the chat, let us know what you guys thought of this episode. How many gavels do you give it?
Yeah, and while you do that, let's remind folks where they can get in touch with us, Jace.
Oh, we will. I'll let John go last because it's what comes natural. You guys can find me at 3 Geeks Podcast. We are doing 3 or 4 shorts a day on all social medias. Go check those out. Thank you to Justin for helping me edit certain videos. I do the reviews, but Justin does all of the trailer reactions, all the new stuff. Justin is a busy man because I keep sending him stuff. I'm sure he rolls his eyes every once in a while, but yeah, I'm guys, I'm going to do it. Home Alone 3 through 5. I have not seen. I'm going to finally watch them for your benefit. And I'm also going to watch Christmas Vacation too, because I've never seen that either. I know I'm glutton for punishment. But you find all that over on our social medias. We're taking the year off, guys. We'll be back the second week of or the first Saturday of January. And also we do have new interviews dropping on Wednesday, not this week because it's Christmas, but the following week on New Year's Day, we're going to start kicking those off again.
I actually meant the Mattalk communication is what I meant.
Oh,
that's okay. Let's get it all in. Anyways, I mean, go ahead. Anyways, where can people let us know if they enjoyed this episode or not?
Guys can email us at benmattalk@gmail.com.
And it's right down there in the scroll as well. And you can find us on Facebook as well. Mattalk Podcast is the handle over there.
And that's all the time we have, folks.
Well, anyways, and also the PVD Cast, ladies and gentlemen, is my own personal podcasting project. I just dropped a double episode this past week with two independent comic book creators from here in Columbus, Ohio, Sydney Kitt and Joshua Whitlow. It's the year-end episode for me. That's why it's a double-sized one, because I am, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, taking off to the old Rhode Island to visit mom and stepdad. So there's not going to be anything until the new year, the first Thursday in January. So with that, should we get on out of here, man?
Yeah, we shall, John. Man, what a fun episode.
Indeed. Thank you to everyone for checking us out. We appreciate it. Whether you did so live or you're watching this on a replay, thanks a lot. And again, help out the show by spreading the word about it. If you know somebody that loves Andy Griffith or Matlock, we're the podcast for you.
And so, I do want to give another shout out to @DarkSeaYarn. Guys, go follow our friend Liz. She is such a good supporter of our show, and she has some cool designs.
All right, and happy holidays to everybody. We hope you have a safe one, a fun one, a productive one if need be, whatever. Just have a great holiday season. And as they say in court,
nothing further.